Hello, what is up? What is happening? My name is Colin Mitchkowski, aka Ghost Panda, and the place to be as always, and I'm so glad that you can join me for another video here on the YouTube channel. And today we are firing up MLB The Show 19, and for this video we are just going to go ahead and take a look at the rosters and look and see who the top dogs are on each team. Kind of just skim through and take a look at the top players, and then if you want to pause the video on certain rosters and or maybe all of them during the video, you can do so, and then go ahead and look down the rest of the list, or at least the list that is shown on the screen. Obviously, you can't go all the way down, whatever, but at least grab the top 10 players and take a look at them. But we're gonna go ahead and just kind of skim through the rosters, because I know how important the rosters and player ratings are to anybody who's a fan of the show, myself included. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of take a look. And before we do, I just want to remind you that you can follow me on Twitter at GhostPandaColin. That is GhostPandaColin. That's the best place you can find me on social media, is on there. And my direct messages are open, so feel free to slide into the DMs if you so wish, if you have thoughts or questions or comments, whatever, anything, I guess. Just want to talk or whatever. I'm available, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. So let's go start with the White Sox, because that's the team I have set as favorite. So take a look at the White Sox, and right away, Nate Jones is the top player on the White Sox. The big reliever, 6'5" monster reliever. And it's amazing that he is the top guy, because he's always hurt all the time. But when he's on, or when he's healthy, he's really good. So and the closing pitcher. And he's the only 80 overall player on the team. Everyone else is 70-something or lower, so including Marcus Stroman. Tampa Bay Rays, of course, they're going to be good, because since they had such a great season last year and still missed the playoffs, so which is incredible. I mean, they have like 95 wins, I think. So, and they still missed the playoffs. So as expected, their team is very good. Led by Blake Snell, who almost won the Cy Young at 89. Now to the Yankees, so everybody's favorite team, right? But the Yankees, so obviously got Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton tied for 93 overall. Aaron Judge has a little bit of the edge there, because Judge is a little bit better with the fielding stats than Stanton's. Yeah, no shock there. And then another no shocker is the Red Sox. So you got Chris Sale at 98 overall. You got Mookie, 97. I think Mookie probably should have been the highest rated guy since he won the MVP. I was thinking maybe he could have been the highest rated, or at least tied as at 98. I didn't know if he was going to get a 99 overall, but I would say at least a 98. But 97, of course, is still fantastic, so that's not taking anything away from his, how great of a player he is. That's 84 overall. So another team they're a little bit like the Blue Jays in terms of their rating. So, except they got a couple 80s. They got 84 and 82, then drops down to the 70s. But very similar around the league, and then eventually make our way to the National League. So, the Cleveland Indians, and another team that, no shock, that they're pretty much loaded. So, yeah, so no shock at all. Now, I will say that I was a little surprised with Corey Kluber being a higher rated than Jose Ramirez, because Jose Ramirez was pretty ridiculous last year, so a little surprised that Corey Kluber was higher, but again, it's almost like the Mookie Betts Chris Sale thing. It's like, it's one of those things, like, it is what it is, because Chris Sale is a fantastic pitcher, and so is Corey Kluber, so I guess it was not that big of a deal either way. The Tigers, Miguel Cabrera, once again, is the highest rated player on the Tigers, as he seems to always be. Even as he ages, they still have him as the best player on the team, so that's crazy. He's going to be the best player on their team forever, it seems like. And then it drops off big time after that, so that's the Detroit Tigers. We have the Kansas City Royals, Whit Merrifield, one of the more unique names in baseball. Of course, he's got a pretty high rating, 88 overall. So that's their top guy. Thanks to his contact hitting, of course. They got Eddie Rosario, 84 overall. So that's their top guy. The newly acquired Nelson Cruz, 83. Still has a lot of pop in that bat. So he's 83, then so on. It goes down more. Moving on to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and of course we already know who the king is here. That is Mike Trout. Why Mike Trout hasn't been on the MLB The Show cover yet, I have no idea, but I'm sure he will be on one day. And I also heard that his jersey was the 11th best-selling jersey in baseball, which is also ridiculous too. So it's like as if people don't even know he's there, even though he's one of the best players ever. So really, so yeah, Mike Trout 99 overall, as he always is. No shock there. Led by Blake, the closer position. He had a great season. Obviously, one of those multi-purpose relievers. So a little bit like a Andrew Miller kind of type of guy, who's kind of like that multi-purpose kind of guy. The Seattle Mariners. Mitch Henninger, right fielder, 82. The Edwin Encarnacion, 81. Another one of those guys, kind of like Nelson Cruz. He ages, but he still is fairly productive. So 81. Onward to the Texas Rangers. 86 overall for Jose Leclerc. Closing pitchers, and closing pitchers are always pretty strong with their ratings, because closers are just some of the best pitchers in the game are closers. So Joey Gallo, a guy who's got plenty of pop in his bat. Let's go. Jose Altuve, 95 overall. That's no shock there because he's Jose Altuve. So Jose Altuve is one of those guys. Like, he's always gonna pretty much get a very high rating, pretty much, because he's one of those consistent superstar talents, and because of that, he's always gonna get a higher rating. Now his rating dropped from before, I believe. After updates in last year's game, he's like a 99 overall, I believe. So, but he dropped a little bit, but not much. He's still 95. Shocked the world and made the playoffs. So Freddie Freeman, no shocker here, leading the charge and with a 90 overall. A great contact hitter who also has a little pop in his bat. One thing with the Marlins though, they got that sick new logo, that new logo and the uniforms and everything. Yeah, pretty sweet, pretty sweet. So yeah, but yeah, don't worry, Marlins fans. If you see this and you're feeling discouraged, I'm like, do not. I'll be like, you pick your Marlins in the game. If you love the Marlins, you pick those Marlins and you roll with them, because that's your squad. I don't care how what you think they are. If you think they're bad or whatever, I'm like, you pick that team because that's your squad. You stick with your squad. Okay, I'm a White Sox fan, and I've been dealing with mediocrity and bad baseball for the last 10 years or so, and I still love my White Sox. So if you love the Marlins, that's your squad. You roll with them. So don't feel discouraged at all. Alright, to the Bryce Harper list, Washington Nationals. And they do have more 90 overall players than any team in the game. So they have 4 guys that are 90 overall plus. Max Scherzer, Sean Doolittle, Anthony Rendon, and Steven Strasburg still. Even at we move on to the New York Mets, led by the NL Cy Young Award-winning Jacob deGrom, 96 overall. You got Noah Syndergaard, 93. As expected, there's no shock there that those are the top dogs. And then Edwin Diaz, the newly acquired Edwin Diaz, also no surprise that he's the 3rd best player there. As incredible as he was last year. To the Philadelphia Phillies, which has Bryce Harper. And the Phillies are led by Aaron Nola. And again, I've been saying this a lot throughout the video, but say it with me, no surprise. So Aaron Nola is the highest rated guy, and he should be the highest rated guy, because I think some people might say, oh, well, Harper should be higher rated, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. I say Nola's better, because Nola arguably is the best pitcher in baseball. The ratings doesn't say that, because there's at least 3, 4, 5 other starting pitchers that are higher rated than him. But when you think about it, he may be still the best pitcher in baseball. And if you're somebody who likes sabermetrics, his WAR, he had I believe the 2nd highest WAR in all of baseball, which included the pitchers and position players. The other side of town. And of course, Chris Bryant, number 1. Now, some might say this might be a little surprising going into this season, because considering the great season that Javi Baez had last year, some may say Baez should be over Bryant. But you have to think about it like this. Bryant is the guy that is going to have the most consistency throughout his career. So, like, he's that guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like the Cubs' Mike Trout, basically. I'm not comparing Chris Bryant to Mike Trout, but he is like their Mike Trout. So, Javi Baez is an amazing player, but you know, he's not going to, I don't think he's going to continue to have, like, these unbelievable seasons year after year and being in the running for MVP year after year after year. That's going to be Chris Bryant. So, it Road to the Show guy is on from last year. So, Joey Votto, still raking the ball. 89 overall at 35 years old. He has 95 contact versus right-handed pitchers, 80 versus left-handed pitchers, and still has a little pop in that bat too. So Joey Votto still killing it. So yeah, this is pretty much what you expect from the Brewers. So you got your MVP as the top guy, and then you got your best reliever, arguably best reliever in baseball, if you want to say that. And say hello to Felipe Vasquez with 88 overall as the closer, coming out of the pen in the 9th inning. Starling Marte, center fielder, 86. And yeah, then they got Chris Archer. That's right, they do have Chris Archer. And yeah, so lots of 80s there. Though that whole top 10 is all 80s, so there's some depth there. And you got a strong 88 overall closer to lead the way. So not too bad. Who may be the best reliever in baseball. I know I said that about Hader too, but Andrew Miller has probably been the best reliever in baseball for the last at least 3 years or so, 3 or 4 years. So, and kind of that guy that kind of got the whole multi-purpose thing going, because now other pitchers are starting to do that too, be the multi-purpose guy. So 93 overall for Andrew Miller. And then you got, of course, Paul Goldschmidt, which is a huge deal for the Cardinals. And yeah, then after that, it drops off to 86, 85, 84. Yeah, Zach Greinke's been the highest rated guy on his team at least a few times. So, amazingly, he's only 35. Like, I would think Zach Greinke's like 40. God, my goodness, man. Zach Greinke? Man. I'm trying to think. I remember Zach Greinke from like 04, 05. I mean, he's been around a very long time. No, I remember him as a Royal, of course, Kansas City Royal, and yeah, just unbelievable. But at least over a certain span of time, I'm not talking about just what happened last year or whatever. I'm talking about over a certain period of time. He is the guy to me. Like, he's like in basketball. In basketball, it's LeBron James. That's Kevin Durant. I think Nolan Arenado is that Kevin Durant in baseball, and then Mike Trout's that LeBron James. So that's kind of how I look at it. So he's that guy. He got that extension. Good for him. Staying in Colorado. And he's not coming to the White Sox, so I'm crying. No, I'm not. I knew he wouldn't come to the South Side anyway. No way. That just wouldn't. I don't know why I feel that way. I just feel like it wouldn't happen. So, led by Kenley Jensen. Best closer in baseball, at least over the last 3-4 years or so. 96 overall, tied with Clayton Kershaw, who has been the best starting pitcher over the last 5-6 years or so. Clayton Kershaw has basically been that like a Mike Trout situation. Trout's been the best player in baseball for 6 years, basically ever since they came into the league. Clayton Kershaw, kind of the same thing, kind of the best pitcher in baseball for the last, basically ever since he came into the league. So yeah, but obviously with him being hurt, it kind of messed him up a little bit. But other than that, still, he's Clayton Kershaw. So, well, kind of sort of a new look San Diego Padres with Mr. Manny Machado leading the way with a 93 overall. So, and he's higher rated than Bryce Harper. So, how about that by 3 overall? So, since him and Harper both got the big contracts and people are kind of wondering who's the best player, and MLB The Show says Manny Machado. So, take that. Which, he was. Last year he was. Last year he definitely was the best, the better player. That's without a doubt. My goodness, I mean, how good they were. Where they won like what 3 World Series in like 5 years or whatever. So yeah, but things have changed very quickly for the San Francisco Giants. Will Smith with a 90 overall closer. So they got Madison Bumgarner 87, Buster Posey still cruising 87. So yeah. So the Giants got plenty of 80s. You got 90 there, and you got plenty of 80s. So that's a very interesting roster right there. Did enjoy the video. If you did enjoy listening to my annoying voice and everything else, then please feel free to go and subscribe. And you can also follow me on Twitter at GhostPandaColin. That is GhostPandaColin. And as mentioned, you can read my work at apptrigger.com. That is apptrigger.com. If you want to look at my work specifically, it is apptrigger.com/author/C Michkowski. That is CMIECZKOWSKI. So feel free to go and check that out. I got some articles on there, some MLB The Show stuff on there, and then some other gaming stories on there also. So I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace, adios, sayonara. Ghost Panda, out of here.